Hey everyone, so today we are going to learn all about something called the Picot Stitch. P-I-C-O-T, Picot Stitch. That's the pronunciation. I had to look it up as well. Can you see these points? 1, 2, 3. Anytime you see a point in some type of crochet, amigurumi, or whatever else, you will know that you've used the Picot Stitch technique. So we are going to take you through it today and just have a look at what it is. So let's start off first just by making a regular single crochet stitch. This is not a part of the Picot Stitch, but it helps us to just understand how we are making it. So let's say, for example, we wanted to make a Picot Stitch on this single crochet stitch. We would first need to chain 1 or chain 2, depending on what the pattern says, but usually there is an incorporation of a chain or 2. And then what you want to do is see this single crochet stitch that we just made. You want to insert the hook in the back loop of that single crochet stitch and then towards the side. Can you see that? We've gone in the side. So there's the back loop right there. And then we have the side loop as well. And then from there, we are going to grab that yarn and make a slip stitch straight into the loop on the hook. And sometimes you do need to curve or bend your wrist a little bit more so you can get in to make that slip stitch, and that altogether is called the Picot Stitch. So that includes that slip stitch in the side portion. That's what is called the Picot Stitch. So none of the single crochet, none of the chaining, that will all be told to you in a pattern, but the coming into the side and working the slip stitch into the loop on the hook is called the Picot Stitch. Let's do another one. So there we go. There's our little Picot Stitch right there, and because it's forming that peak or that point at the top, and it's used for decorative purposes. I usually use it when I'm making flowers or things like that. I have a picture of a sunflower here, you can see, so that's incorporating the Picot Stitch. Let's try with, let's say for instance we make a half double crochet stitch first, and then let's say we wanted to chain 2. The pattern says chain 2, and then it says create or work a Picot Stitch. Okay, so we need to find the back loop of that half double crochet stitch plus the side, and it's always on the side. Sometimes it can be tricky for those half double crochet stitches, but we found it. So there we go. We're in that section there where we're about to now make the slip stitch into the loop on the hook. And that is it. We've just made that Picot Stitch right there. And then they might tell you a single crochet stitch is next, or a slip stitch, or working in the same loop, something like that. Let us try a couple different ones. So let's try starting with a double crochet stitch. And now chaining 1 and then making a Picot Stitch. So come in the back loop, then to the side, then make the slip stitch. And that there is the Picot Stitch right there. And we can make another half double crochet stitch inside that same loop. Again, this is not part of the Picot Stitch, but it just helps you to understand there's different ways of doing this, gradually going up, gradually coming down. Why don't we try one more, this time starting off with a half double, then a double, and then a treble crochet stitch. And what happens now if, so there's our treble crochet stitch right there. And what if it said Picot Stitch, or chain 1, and then it said make a Picot Stitch? Make a Picot Stitch. All right, let's do it. We come in the back loop of that treble crochet stitch and then straight into the side. It kind of just works in there as you come through the side, just like that. And then slip stitch right there. I say slip stitch just so you can understand what it is, but altogether when you come through the side and you pull that yarn through, that is the Picot Stitch, and there's the point right there. And they may have you either chain more or make another treble crochet stitch inside this same stitch space, depending on what the pattern says or what you want to do as well. You may have another double crochet stitch in the next stitch and then a half double crochet stitch to kind of gradually decrease, and you kind of mirror that image of what you just made from this side. Then you've got the Picot, and then you're coming back down. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. This is all about the Picot Stitch. I hope you've understood what I've taught you here. And yeah, again, you can do this for lots of different flowers. You can make decorations, a cracked egg. I think I have a piu piu over here that you can see where I've incorporated these Picot stitches as well. So you've got the illusion of the crackedness of the eggshell. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe so you can learn more about crochet. Thanks guys, bye.